I know a creator with 2.3 million followers that makes less than $3,000 a month, and another with 47,000 followers that makes over $50,000 a month. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why and how you can be the second creator, not the first. What's up, guys? I'm Andrew Gonzalez, and over the past decade, I've generated over 1 billion organic views, became the creative director for a $100 million company, and have worked with some of the biggest creators and entrepreneurs in the world, all while building multiple 6- and 7-figure brands. And today, I'm breaking down the exact framework I use with every single brand I work with. This is the difference between a content creator and being a brand, between making a few $1,000s a month and building true wealth. So if you're creating content and you're not seeing the money, the clients, or the opportunities you deserve, this video is for you. Let's dive in. All right, so let's start with the brutal truth. Most creators are on what I call the content hamster wheel. You're posting every single day. Threads, carousels, stories, reels. You're showing up consistently. You're creating value. You're doing everything the gurus tell you to do. But when you look at your bank account, when you check your DMs for client inquiries, when you count the actual opportunities coming your way, it does not match the effort. And here's what's crazy. You probably know other creators who post less than you, have smaller audiences than you, but somehow they're charging premium prices, landing dream clients, and getting invited to speak at events. So what's the difference? The difference is they're not building followers, they're building brand equity. Let me explain what I mean. There are 2 games you can play as a creator. Game number 1 is the follower game. This is where you optimize for vanity metrics, chase viral moments, you depend on the algorithm, you're paid per post or per sponsorship. Your income is directly tied to your time or your follower count. And then we have game number 2, the brand equity game. This is where you optimize for market value. You build lasting authority, you make the algorithm work for you, and you are paid for your presence in the marketplace. Your income compounds over time even when you're not posting. Now here's the thing, most creators don't even know there's a second game. They're stuck playing game number 1, wondering why they're exhausted or broke despite having thousands or even millions of followers. But once you understand the difference, everything changes. Let me show you how. Okay, so after working with hundreds of creators and brands, analyzing millions of dollars in revenue, I discovered something. Every creator with real brand equity, the kind that generates consistent, scalable income, has 4 things in common. I call these the 4 pillars of brand equity. And when these 4 pillars are aligned, your brand becomes a money-making machine. Let me break down each one. Pillar number 1. Brand identity. This is your foundation, and most creators completely mess this up. They think brand identity is simply a logo, some colors, and a catchy bio, but that's surface level stuff. Real brand identity operates at 3 levels. Level 1, surface identity. This is what you post about, your aesthetic, your scheduling. This is where most creators stop. Level number 2 is functional identity. This has to do with what problems you solve and what skills you teach. This is where good creators operate. And then we have level 3, transformational identity. This is what beliefs you challenge, what possibilities you open up, and what version of themselves do people become through your influence. This is where brand equity is built. Let me give you an example. When I worked for David Meltzer, we didn't just post him as a sports agent or the former CEO of Samsung. We positioned him as someone who helps high achievers find significance beyond success. That's not functional, that's transformational. And because of that clear identity, Dave's brand has opened the doors to $30 million a year in opportunities. See the difference? Your brand isn't about you. It's about the transformation that you provide others. And if you can't articulate that in 1 sentence, you're leaving millions on the table. Okay, now pillar number 2, content strategy. Now, once you have your identity dialed in, you need a system for creating content that actually builds that identity in the marketplace. This is where most creators burn out. They're creating random content hoping that something sticks. They treat every post as a standalone piece, and they're starting from scratch every single day. Let me tell you, that's exhausting and ineffective. So here's what you need to do instead. I call it the content multiplication system. Think of your content as a pyramid. At the top, you have your pillar content, deep, valuable, authority-building pieces. This is only 10% of your content, but does 80% of the heavy lifting. In the middle, you have micro content, tips, insights, quotes, all pulled from your pillar content. This is 30% of your output. And at the bottom, you have social content, behind the scenes, personal story, engagement posts. This is 60% of what you post. Now, here's where the magic is. Most creators have this pyramid upside down. They spend 90% of their time on social content and only 10% on pillar content. But when you flip it, when you focus on creating 1 piece of pillar content per week, that 1 piece becomes 5 carousels. 10 graphic quotes, 5 short form videos, 10 tweets, and an email newsletter. That's over 30 pieces of content from one recording session. This is how I've generated close to 1 billion views without burning out. And this is how you can create over 30 pieces of content with less than 4 hours per week. See, because it's not about working harder, it's about having the system that multiplies your effort. And by the way, if you want all my workflows, templates, and exact systems I use to do this, I'll tell you how to get access at the end of this video. But first, let me show you the other 2 pillars, because this is where it gets good. All right, pillar 3, exposure systems. So you've got a clear identity, you've got a content system that multiplies your output, but none of that matters if no one sees your content, right? This is where most creators blame the algorithm. Oh, the algorithm is against me. Nobody sees my content. I'm shadow banned. But here's the truth. The algorithm isn't against you. You just don't understand how to work with it yet. I use something called the scale framework. It's 5 systems that work together to predictably grow your audience with the right people. Starting with S, seed audience. Start with the people you already know. Your personal network, your email list, your existing followers. They provide initial momentum that signals to the algorithm your content is worth showing to others. C is community infiltration. Find where your ideal audience already gathers. Facebook groups, Reddit communities, Discord servers, and become the most valuable contributor. Not spammy, valuable. All right. A is algorithm optimization. Every single platform has rules. Learn them, play by them, and win by them. Create content that the algorithm wants to show to other people. L is for leverage partnerships. This is going to be strategic collaborations that will lead to 10xing your reach overnight. One podcast appearance, one collaboration, one shout out from the right person changes everything. And then we have E, earned media. When others talk about you, feature you, or mention you without asking, that's the holy grail of credibility and exposure. Now, most creators ignore the first 4 and only hope for the 5th. They hope somebody notices them, they hope they go viral, and they hope the algorithm works. But hope is not a strategy. When you systematically implement all of these 5 systems, growth becomes predictable. You're not gambling anymore, you're executing a plan. This is how I've generated close to 1 billion views. Not from luck, from systems. Now on to pillar number 4. Funnel architecture. All right, final pillar, hang in with me there, because this is the one that actually makes you money. You can have the best identity, the best content, the best exposure, but if you don't know how to convert attention into revenue, you're just a hobbyist. The funnel is what turns your brand into a business. And the key to a great funnel is something called the value ladder. This is the path where you take someone where I've never heard of you to take my money. At the bottom of the ladder, you have free content. That's what brings people in. Videos like this one, or social media posts, or even podcasts. Then you have a low ticket offer, something under $100, something that gets them to pull out their credit card for the first time. Then you have your core offer. This is where most of your revenue comes from, usually anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. Then you have your high ticket for those who want more of your support. And then finally, you have enterprise and ongoing partnerships. Now, most creators try to jump from their free content straight to their $3,000 offer, and they wonder why nobody's buying. But when you build a proper value ladder, when you have something for people at every stage of readiness, suddenly your content isn't just generating views, it's generating revenue. This is how I was able to sign a $100,000 client overnight. Not because I got lucky, but because of my entire funnel. From my content to my positioning to my offers. It was designed to convert the right people at the right time. By the time the prospect reached out, they didn't even need convincing. They were already sold because the brand had done all the work for me. All right, so let's bring this all together, reviewing the 4 pillars of brand equity. Pillar 1, brand identity. Your foundation, who you are, what you stand for, and the transformation you provide. Pillar 2, content strategy. Your engine, the system that multiplies your output and builds your authority. Pillar 3, exposure systems. This is your reach and the 5 systems that predictably grow your audience. And then we have pillar number 4, your revenue. How you actually convert your attention into income. When all 4 of these pillars align, your brand becomes unstoppable. You're not chasing clients, they're coming to you. You're not wondering if your content will work, you know it will work. You're not burned out and overwhelmed, you're energized and growing. This is what separates the $3,000 a month creator with 2.3 million followers from the creator making $50,000 a month with less than 50,000 followers. It's not about size, it's about systems. It's not about luck, It's about building brand equity. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, Andrew, I get it. I need to build brand equity, but how? Where do I start? What do I do first? Don't worry. I've got you covered. I've taken everything I know, every template, every workflow, every system I use with multi-million-dollar brands, and I've put them inside something called the Swiss Creator Academy. This is where you get the complete 4-pillar brand equity training with step-by-step guidance, my personal Notion workflow template that I use to create over 30 pieces of content with less than 4 hours a week, all my AI prompts for content creation and copywriting, weekly mastermind calls where we workshop your brand together, a community of other ambitious creators building their brands alongside you, special guest masterclasses from industry experts, and the brand equity blueprint ebook that breaks everything down in detail. Basically everything you need to stop winging it and start building a brand that actually makes you money. Now, I could charge thousands for this, and honestly, considering the value, it would be worth it, but I wanted to make this accessible. So the Swiss Creator Academy is only $97 a month. That's less than most people ever spend on random courses they never even finish. And here you're getting a complete system, ongoing support, and a community of people who actually get it. If you're serious about building brand equity, not just collecting followers, this is where you start. The link is in the description below. Click it and check out everything that's included. And if it feels right, I'll see you inside. Or if you want to go all in, you can get the full year for $997. That saves you over $150 and locks in your price forever. Plus, when you join for the year, you get immediate access to everything, including our private Slack channel where I'm answering questions daily. Look, here's the bottom line. You have a message, you have a gift, you have something that the world needs, but you're stuck on this content hamster wheel. You're building followers instead of building brand equity. You're posting every day, but still not seeing the money or the opportunities you deserve. You're playing the wrong game. The best creators aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who understand these 4 pillars and build their brands systematically. And the best part? It's all learnable. This is all systematic, and this can be built starting today. 5 years from now, you're gonna look back at this moment and you're gonna think, I'm so glad I made this decision to invest in building my brand. Again, the link is below to join the Swiss Creator Academy. Let's build your brand equity together. If you got value from this video, do me a favor, drop a comment below and let me know which of these 4 pillars do you need to work on most. Is it the identity, the content, the exposure, or the funnel? I read every single comment and I will reply specifically to your situation. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.